So I'm going to review today how to sign into Seesaw and some of the components that you might want to set up if you haven't ever logged in or you're looking for a couple of their tips as you do get your class in and working with Seesaw. So I sign in and I signed in with my school Google account, but of course I saved it, so it's just going to pop up right away. That brief picture you saw, you would click, of course, I'm a teacher, and then our Gmail account from the school district is linked into this. You would not have anything in your journal yet, or you might already. But I go over here to my classes, and you can see all of the different classes you have. They, just like with Blackboard, they linked it to Skyward, so we got all these different classes. And I started by, doing this and having the kids go to this. Well, then you end up with 15 different QR codes, kind of. So anyway, I went back to making this class my original one. And what I did is I set up folders, which I'm going to show you how to do that in a few minutes. But the first thing you want to do in any of the classes you want to use, if it's just ELA or just math or something like that, is you go to the little settings or the wrench, and then you begin to go down and just set whatever you want. You can create the class name yourself, change your grade level. I go to the teachers and I add my SPED teachers or my coworkers so that we can all look and see what the kids are doing. I change the theme and icon. If you want, you can do that. Students, this is interesting. So if you want to go to shared devices, which we do, we have to share devices. So what I do is click on this one for sure, because they're not one-to-one. So I do the shared device, and that gives you a QR code that you can print out a little later. If you want to make sure that you have all your students, I didn't have one, and so I entered their student ID, and I was able to add him because he was a late enrollment. Let's see here. Students, likes, and comments. You have to kind of figure out what you want to do with this. I start off not enabling any of these because things can happen. If you want to teach digital citizenship, you can have the kids like only, or you can even have them comment if you're wanting to have some stuff, but you could require approval for that. I'd be careful depending on how often you want to check this. But for the beginning of the year, I have all of those turned off. Students can see each other's work. Right now, I have that off as well because I don't want extra comments right now as I'm kind of working through it and I'm teaching the kids what's appropriate and what's not. New items requiring approval. Right now I have it set to yes it does, but it does get kind of annoying because you might get 47 in one day, but you can, as you'll see in a little bit, you can approve all at once if you want to. And then enable item editing. I always put that on because kids make mistakes and they might want to go in and edit something that they did. I allow family access so that the parents can log in and see their own students' journal and their folders, and they can comment for their own kids. The inviting family is really easy. You can do a paper invite and send it home, or the sample email. I personally like just throwing it in a sample email, copy and paste it, and it's super easy. Let's see here. Pending manage families. I don't really do much with managing the families. I just can see who's in there with connected families. Pending family approvals, that's where I would go and approve any parent that's coming in. Family likes, comments, and sharing. If you want to go in, and I enable them to like their kids' work and comment, but I also want to make sure that I'm seeing what comments they're making. So finally, manage, okay, class blog. I wouldn't do anything with this unless you're pretty far along. It's not really needed for some of the activities we're going to be doing, and so you can kind of skip all of this. If you want to be adventurous and create a class blog, you can go ahead and do that. This is the fun part about managing folders, so you don't have 100 classes. You click here and you just create a folder, name it, and then the kids, when they get ready to post something, choose the class they post it in. I think it's easier than having 5 different QR codes in the classroom. I have the students and teachers have a step shown for the kids so they know how to add it to a folder. And then skills. This is my favorite new thing that I started with this year. I can go in and I have fluency as a skill. And if I want to add a new skill, you go in, you name it, the subject, the grade level, and then you give it a little quick code. And so then you can tag what the kids are uploading into a standard. And that's super helpful, I assume, when we're doing grade cards and things like that. I've never done it before, but I'm pretty excited about trying it. And finally, you need to save stuff to the camera roll because I worry that kids like forget something and they need to be able to find it. I didn't change anything down here, and I'm not doing anything with those until later in the year. So that's the first thing you really kind of need to do is just setting up your class. Those are the various things, and you go to this wrench to be able to do that.